Remember, on the coordinate plane, the x tells you how far left or right, and the y tells you up or down. So x tells you left or right, and y tells you up or down. And if it's negative x, it's going to go to the left, as you can see, because all of the negative numbers are on the left. And if it's positive, it will go to the right. And you can see here, there's actually an X there for you. There may or may not be an X on the test, so it's really important that you remember X tells you left or right. All right. And then with Y, when you go up, it's positive, down is negative. And the other extremely important thing to remember is when you see coordinates in an ordered pair, they're always going to be in this order: X, comma, Y. Always. So when you look at this first point, you're going to start at the origin and count back to see where it lines up. So it lines up here. So I'm going to count back, and I can see that these are skipping numbers. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4. So even though it's not labeled, this isn't half. This is -1. They're just skipping so that there's room for all of the numbers. So here I have -4 for my x, and then I have to go down 6, and I end up at -6. So this first one, I went backwards 4, so I went left 4. That's my x. So -4 is my x, because the x is first. And then -6 is my y. For the next one, this one's up top, and this one might be a little bit more confusing because you can see it's kind of in between numbers, but don't be confused by that. It's in between, but this is in between 6 and 8, which is 7. And this is between 4 and 6, which is 5. So even though it's in between numbers, you have to pay attention to what the numbers are, because that gives you a clue about what the in between is going to be. So if I look at this one again, I'm going to start at the origin and see where I line up and go on the X first, because it's always X, comma, Y. So I start at 0 and I'm going to go to the right 7. So that means my X is 7, positive 7. And I go up 5. And it's up 5, so it's positive 5. So it's 7, comma 5. For the next one, this one went to the left 2, so I have x is -2, but it went up 8. So it's -2 for the x and positive 8 for the y. So -2, comma 8. And the last one, I went over to the positive 4. I went right 4 and then down to the -6. So it's positive 4, comma, -6. So remember, you're always going to, for your first number, your x, you're going to look for the left or right. And then your second number is the y, and that's always going to tell you up or down.